day.
Mr.
What a day.
Shaw, how
Holy
are you,
shit,
bro?
man.
Talk to me. How are you? Thanks for jumping. First of all, thank you for jumping on. I know I was in the spaces yesterday a little bit. I know you. I can imagine you've been up, like, haven't slept. I mean, how are you, bro? First of all,
I actually got some sleep
you
because I
did.
really needed it. I mean, I was pretty tired of that space, and I don't think I was definitely not on my game for sure. I was pretty emotional. So this is what a surreal experience. I was basically an unknown anon for so much of my career, and then to be like, hey, I made this thing, and then it blew up, and then I'm the main character, and now I'm like the villain. Like, whoa, I was not expecting that at all. So I mean, like, I think obviously I kind of fucked up some of the communication, and kind of took ownership of something, that really should be a community thing. And I think we should just like talk about all this stuff. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the, I was like a dev in crypto Twitter, like, like just a non-coding, like solidity shit. So I was never really like in the culture in this kind of way. And I've never really been a trader or anything. I think that trading and deving crypto is very different culture.
For sure.
I know a lot, and yeah, obviously, like, am learning the hard way a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
Um,
So,
and I think the people, yeah, so yeah,
so I.
well, the people. Go for it, go for it. I don't
All
know.
right, cool, cool.
Just
I
ask
just want to
questions. Let's
preface
go.
by saying I'm not a guy. I just want to yap. I just want to talk about it. We've had
Yeah,
some
yeah,
sick conversations. I just want to talk, kind of figure out what. All right, I guess we just start with like the basic, high level, like what happened yesterday.
yeah. Okay, so the main thing I think people are mad about is that I said it's cool if you like CTO a token. And I totally get that because like what happened was I was like, well, we just cannot do another token, right? Obviously, like we have ai16z, my DAO. People want me focused. They want me building the autonomous investor stuff, all the stuff we've been talking about.
And just for
And then we kind of
context,
have this
is
new,
DGen AI
yeah,
also yours or just AI16Z?
yeah.
Okay.
No, DGen AI is the first project we started.
Okay.
And so I started with Skelly, who's like he's a cool guy, and he basically runs DGen AI now, like
Okay.
inside of our DApp, right? We're all connected. AI16Z is like the biggest holder. It's all it's all happening. And he's got like a full dev team just cooking on that one, just on him. Um, so yeah, so I said like, hey, like it would be cool to like CTO this. This team comes to me and says, hey, we've actually been cooking on this thing called Miss Eliza, and they showed me this website that they'd made and like all this stuff. So I was like, this is pretty high effort. Like these are good devs. Um, and I started basically working with them to make this launch,
And how long ago
right?
was this?
Uh, this is like I keep saying 2 weeks, but I think it was like 10, 11. Like I
10,
posted that
11
like 10
days.
days ago. That was like when they reached out. Must have
And
been
who
like
was the
9, 10
team?
days
Like, did
ago.
you know them
So
prior?
yeah, I mean there are a few devs who are backed by Rise, who's like we're doing the AI Combinator thing with.
Okay.
And there's been some like hate also for like, oh, it's some VC backed bullshit. And like I
Thread
think that's kind of
29
fair. Like
probable
I
loading.
think Rise is like Matt's a really interesting, cool guy who's got great ideas, and I've
Mhm.
kind of approached him on that. And I haven't really like thought about the bigger ramifications of like, working with this guy or that guy and like kind
Okay.
of working with people in the trenches versus working with people with capital. But it seemed like cool. Here's like a well capitalized, well funded, good dev team built. They already have like a great like a website and a whole thing, and they're cooking. They just like reached out to our the guys who are making our videos and like engaged
Yeah.
him to make videos, just like totally on their own.
And certainly, this isn't the first
And I
team
kind of
that's reached out
yeah.
to you, right? Like, I'm sure you've had hundreds of
Sorry,
teams reach out with, oh, we have this project, we want
oh
to, we're
yeah,
working.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we've launched a bunch of them,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like Beth AI, Shaw AI, a lot of the like I helped the Naval team launch.
Yeah.
We've tried to just like anybody who's using our tech and contributing back and giving to the DAO, we're like, fuck yeah, guys, let's go. And I didn't mean to um I don't want to FUD the other project. The other Eliza, like they're totally legit. They're fine people, they're a community, they love what we built. Like everyone's kind of incentivized for money and just pumping their bags. But I think there was also like there's memetics. There's I like this thing. I want this thing. I think people like her, and so I don't know. But I was in this kind of situation, right? So we're ready to launch, and we're gonna launch last Friday. But we were like, oh, you were at the Tyson fight. I was hoping you were there because we did a fucking sick announcement. But we're like, cool. We're gonna launch the alpha chat. Skelly's gonna start inviting people in. I kind of gave you the whole autonomous investor
Uh-huh.
thing last
Yeah.
time we
Yeah. Yeah.
talked. I was just like, there's just so much going on that we felt like this was going to be lost in the noise. And also, I'm like having to, actively build and dev and help make sure that stuff goes well and that we're coordinated. And then I've got this other team like, hey guys, are we shooting this today? And I'm just like, and honestly, like this is really where I fucked up, right? Which is I told them like, no, we can't shoot this today. We just can't. I just have too many things, and I'd be sacrificing my responsibilities to AI16Z to launch this. So to be clear, like Eliza is not our token. I didn't deploy it. and we didn't have a lot of control over that, but we did try to support it and like spam buy it when it was posted on in our discussion and all that
Okay.
stuff. So
So
we
you're
nipped at that.
saying your
It was just
involvement with Eliza is the new Eliza is equivalent to any other coin that's been launched, or like Naval, like a bunch of these other coins, like Beth
it, it,
Bezos.
it it should be, but it's not for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
One is that like this is a project that I was thinking about, writing about, and cooking about. I wrote like a blog post that I've posted a couple of times from last year. This is like something that's really personal to me, like the character, the idea that she's free, that she's a real girl, that she becomes her own person, like that there's this crazy like kind of schizo like dev team that's like, no, we're gonna put her in a fucking body and actually has the skills to do it. Like I think that's such an interesting narrative. And I really wanted her to not have AI16Z on her shirt and to be our
Okay.
mascot. Like that's cool and she'll keep doing that. But I wanted her to be more than that, you know? Like I don't know if you've heard of Hatsune Miku, but
No.
she's this like character. You should check her out. She's
Okay.
cool. So Sony made this like audio engine for called Vocaloid for
Mm-hmm.
making voices, and they put this character on it called Hatsune Miku, and basically the fan audience just took her and created a whole world around her, characters, friends, story, anime, like live shows, everything. But the problem is that she's owned by Sony. And so in Japan, licensing wise, and we can get back to the shit people care
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
but let's
you're
just go
good
on this
though.
tangent
Keep
real
going.
quick.
Okay.
So in Japan, they have extremely liberal IP laws. And so anyone who makes fan art can pretty much get away with anything without being sued. And I think that's really cool. And that's why like you see so much fan art and fandom. Whereas in America, like if I post anything with a Star Wars character, I'm getting a fucking lawsuit immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really wanted to try to break open this world and say like she's AI generated, and in America, AI generated content is not copyrightable, so she cannot be owned by anybody.
Mm-hmm.
She's not AI16Z. She doesn't have any risk of, like kind of platform risk or any kind of copyright infringement or anything. And anybody can use her in their stories forever. And also, like, what I really want to do is try and push this narrative that, like, right now, everyone's just, the people are making Threadguy. They're making like this shit to make fun of people or to like be what cheeky and or like, taking an existing personality. And I think that's cool, but I really want to see the next thing, right? Like, I really want to see people making real, like their own, like, there's so many creative people who have characters who have their own stories to tell, and I really want to like usher in that sort of thing. But also, like, I don't have any control over this. I'm just a dude who made some code. This is a much bigger than me now. I literally no control over anything. If anything, yesterday proved. And this is like a really personal project to me. So the first mistake I made was like not just launching with the dev team when they wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were kind of pressuring me and being like, "Come on, dude, like, can you please promote this? Like, now there's this other coin, and like you kind of fucked us." Um, and then and then and then like when it comes out, like look, we had to launch it. We'd already there's so much invested, and we had no idea. They didn't communicate that this other coin was going to come out. They didn't. It just like appeared, and we're like, oh fuck, like man, fuck.
So
Um,
the coin you were
yeah,
going to endorse with the team that was working on it launched it without your knowledge.
no. The Waifu Fun one launched without our knowledge.
Okay.
Right before we're
Okay.
about to
Got
announce
it.
and launch this, we're like getting all the.
Got it.
And
Got it. Got
so
it.
so I the other mistake that I made is that it's not our coin. It's not mine. It's like a vision that like they came to me with a kind of different Eliza vision, and I'm like, I really have something that I want to give to you here. I want you guys to see this bigger, like non-exclusive, like she is free. She's not AI16Z branded. And I just am really personally close to that vision. And I think the problem there is that I'm sort of like fucking up because if she's supposed to be free, then I'm like trying to control her too much a little bit. I'm almost like almost proving the point in a way.
So,
That if it's not mine, you know.
uh, okay.
Yeah, so let's go through the timeline, right? Is
Yeah.
that the easiest thing?
Yeah. Let's go
And
to the
then
timeline.
I kind of listened to you some I think the hard problems or hard questions.
Yeah.
Like what happened with
I
Logan?
think
Why launch a coin at all?
let's just dive into that one right now because
Yeah.
I think this is the
All right.
biggest pushback is this Logan. So what's the background here? Who is this Logan character? How is he involved? And then we could talk about like the wallets and the selling.
Yeah. So Logan is one of our dev team members who like just showed up off the street. I'd actually known him from my previous project. He was
Okay.
like a holder in that. And he just came in and was like, I was gonna do like my own framework, and I saw what you're doing, and this is sick, and I love your vision, and this has traction, so let's go. And he's like become kind of our lead dev. So like I have, I'll sit down and stream and code, but who's actually like organizing the dev team and like making sure that this is turning into like a real like open source project with some hierarchy and process and stuff. That's really him. I think he trades too, and this was like we have like none of us really have met each other yet. We're just kind of like like coordinating as much as we can. But there's also just like a fuck yeah, if this is gonna come out, I want to get some. Like I want some of the token too. But we obviously like yeah. So let's talk about how that went down.
Yeah.
The dev team launches the token, says okay, sends the contract address. I take the contract address and we start smashing the button. I could not get in on the pump fun, obviously, and but he did, and he had his shit on ultra, like what do you call it? Like super high slippage, ultra priority, all that stuff, and he smashed 10 sol into it early, and that obviously turned into a very big number. And and our hope was like, okay, we're gonna launch this on Pump Fun. It's gonna be messy, but we're gonna like all try and smash it and get a team allocation that's like reasonable so that we can do what we got to do, which is like get some to the DAO, give some to the team that's building it, and then or ideally they just got it from buying it as well, and then do this airdrop onto the other holders of the AI16Z Eliza project that had just launched. Because so what happened is they like they launched and we're just like fuck. Like that really fucks our fucking plan. So I reached out to them, or actually, I think Logan set this up, and we reached out and talked to them and Bite Through Fun. And we're like, dude, I like what you guys are doing, and I don't want to fuck this up for you. Like, and I did later made some mistakes and got a little heated. But it's really not their fault. Like they're just doing what degens do. They saw an opportunity to do something cool. I said it was fine. I really wish they had reached out to me and we had coordinated it. And I could have been like, oh, this other team, maybe we could like do all this together. Like there could have been a lot of alignment, but they just did what degens do, and like and we're kind of in a swarm, and they launched. So we reached out to them. We're like, okay, well, what can we do? I think they wanted us to do a different kind of holder distribution thing. Like we could mint on some other platform and do a 1-1 thing. And maybe that would have been a good choice. But we sort of chose to like, okay, well, we're just going to drop our token and give you guys 10% to your holders, and we're not going to FUD your token.
And that's 10% to the first token that launched on Waifu with extra
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll check in with the team, but I'm pretty sure the airdrops have started. We really didn't want everyone to just use it to like hate dump on us. So the core DAO members have set up like a streaming thing. So it's just like streaming tokens to everybody.
Okay.
For a while.
So
does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess the double part. Thanks for the explanation. The double part of the
yeah,
Logan.
Yeah. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah. Cool. We're working through it. Logan got in, fired Tensor on Pump Fun, and the new Eliza. But then the biggest question is like, you guys never made so you never made a public statement about the first Eliza being yours or not being yours, and then Logan, at least from what I'm seeing, was selling like large chunks of the old unofficial Eliza before the launch of the new Eliza.
So that let's talk about what happened there.
Yeah.
Logan thought that was our project. He bought that project because he thought it was the one that we'd been working on. He literally bought the wrong project. And this is like essential to a lot of why I was hurt, was that a lot of people showed up in our Discord like, just bought the new AI16Z Eliza token. So pumped. And we're like, that's not ours. That's not even ours. And I'm like, I'm talking to this dev team and trying to make this happen, and I don't want to kill their token or FUD them. And I promised them they wouldn't. And I did kind of break that promise for like a second. I deleted my post, but I definitely did get really pissed off.
Wait, so but isn't Logan's the lead developer on New Eliza?
Yeah.
So how?
No. Sorry. No. He has nothing to do with the Eliza project. He's the lead developer on AI16Z.
Okay.
Right?
But the
Eliza project is some other dudes.
But this old Eliza was out for like 24 hours, and ran to 50 mil.
Yeah.
So, I mean, surely, right, at some point in that process, even if it's not, maybe it migrates and goes to a couple mil first, but it gets to 50 mil and he doesn't know that it's the official Eliza?
Oh, I still think he wasn't sure until we had that chat with them, and I don't think he knew what he was supposed to do there. I think like we just didn't know, like let's just game this out. Like I would really love your advice. Like, can we just talk about like what could we have done better? Well, if you want to go through all the shit and just like get through it, but I'd really love your advice, man. Like you kind of nailed it. I'm a dev. I definitely don't understand a lot of like you guys have been through so much shit, so many fucking scams and like SBF and all this shit. And like, I was kind of on the sidelines of that, and I don't really know. Like, I really want to know how we could do this better and not fuck up again. Like, I think that's super important. And also, like, how do we do these launches where we're kind of in a weird spot of like supporting these contributors and like they have their own projects with all these random devs, but we also want to like we want to promote and sponsor them, but we're also not trying to like dilute our brand, you know, and dilute our token and stuff. Like, what should we have done?
I mean, I think I'm gonna be honest. This Logan thing doesn't make a ton of sense though, because
Yeah, yeah,
I think this. I'm gonna be honest. This is. I think it's recoverable, but this part specifically is the crutch, because
yeah, yeah.
it's just hard. Like if you're listening to this, it's hard to like he's not the dev on Eliza, but he's like essentially the lead dev on ai16z. It's like
Yeah, because he was in the discussion. He
how
smashed that button before I got
so
to.
I understand
You
how he
know?
could I understand how he could buy the initial Eliza on Pump Fund without knowing. That makes sense to me. Like, okay, you know this thing's being worked on, announcements are foggy, it's a little bit of a mess. I understand how he could buy it, and I understand how it could go to 500K, a mil, fuck it, 5 mil. But I don't see how it can go to a 50 mil and he still doesn't know, and then last second he knows, he's like, fuck it. And even I'll even say this, even if that did happen, and OG, not your Eliza, does get to 50 mil, and then you're like, yo, Logan, my brother, this is the wrong coin. We're launching the real coin. In no scenario does he sell those tokens before, and then we launch the new Eliza. Like, there's a big gap there. That is a gap.
How do we know? I actually don't even know when he sold, and I didn't even know when he sold until people started like blowing up our chat. And I don't think that he meant anything other than maybe like getting more Sol to buy something. Like he probably was just thinking like a trader and did not think of the bigger consequences of all of this at all. Is like kind of my assumption. And
So,
he's like a really sweet guy, really more on the AI side than anything. So
and I'd be down to
I
talk to
wanted,
him. I think,
yeah.
so people are saying
Do you
it's
want to get him
on.
on? I can just.
We could talk to him. People are saying it's on chain. I'm gonna pull up some tweets, but this is what it looks like. This is just like what the story looks like. When I'm not Zach. I don't have all the receipts. I could try to pull them. What it looks like: fake Eliza launches, goes to 50 mil. No one explicitly says it's yours, but no one explicitly says it isn't yours. And then you have the real one about to be launched. Nobody knows about it. Logan's one of the biggest holders. He sells all of it, and then we launch the new one, which is okay to buy the new one, but selling the old one without explicitly saying, like, which this is what should have happened, is I understand you're in a tough spot, right? It's like you have this coin, people have been using your tech, they've been supporting you. You don't want to like destroy, you don't want to come out and make a statement, destroy their coin. I understand, like as a human, I understand that. But what
They're
I
not.
think,
They're believers.
look,
You know, they're not.
I understand that. What can't happen though, and I know this isn't you, this isn't your wallet, but it's a very close work associate. He can't sell the token right before you launch a new one. Like that is
Yeah.
a massive. And I think honestly, everything else that happened, you saying you're not going to launch a coin and launching a coin, I actually think none of it. I basically think it's all insignificant for the most part, except for this gap right here, which is it's a big gap because it's like it doesn't. That part doesn't add up where it's like even if he didn't know, you can't sell 6 figures of the token right before launching the new one. Like that's a big gap.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not cool. I can tell you, we didn't like plan that or coordinate that, and I don't think he thought twice about it. I just must be wanting to get on here too. Like I'd be, you know, I think he's a pretty good guy. He's an honest guy. I think he just say what's up. um, if you wanted to, that'd be pretty fucking weird. Maybe we could like come on. You could do your other interviews or something. I could get him on later or something.
Yeah, I mean,
Since he's just, like,
I
getting
would
up.
talk to him. I'm curious though. Like
It's up to you. You know.
I would talk
Yeah.
to him. I'm
Well,
curious if I know it kind of all just happened. Do you have like a plan for what, like how to address the Logan situation? Like, has he
yeah,
made a
yeah, yeah.
statement about it? Like, I'm curious where that's at.
I don't know. I don't know about the selling of the other token. I haven't really considered how we can make that right. Because he wasn't really even aware of it. I think that he just sold all of it so that he'd have Sol to buy the other one. I think he aped in hard to that one and was like, "Wait, it's not the fucking token." And like, no, dude. I don't know. We should see when he sold. Is it like he sold 8 hours before? Because he was probably literally just didn't
It
even know
seems like it was
that
within the
we had launched
hour.
it.
It seems like it was within the hour.
Okay. So then he probably dumped it to buy the other token so he'd have Sol. And I'm sure if you look at his wall, he probably, it would make sense if you're a trader and you have like, whatever. But I also think like, yeah, I get that that's not, that's not cool, right? Like it doesn't show the kind of PvE mentality we're trying to show, um, for sure. And so like, yeah, I mean, I will talk to him and we'll see if we can like how do we make that right? How do we make holders right from here? It's in the past and we can't change the past, but we can definitely fix the future, you know?
So I don't know. I think this is what I think has to happen is I think we need. I want to see these like tweets and these exact receipts, but I don't know. Here's what I'll say: if it happened, if it played out the way that I think it played out, I don't know how he can like move forward. I don't know. Like I don't know what if it happened that way. I don't know what the convincing like fix is from there, which is tough. And I know like it's not your wallet. It's a tough situation. I don't know exactly what happened behind the scenes, but it has he made a statement about it since?
I mean, he like had to crash, and I think he's just getting up and dealing with all of this now and going through all the DMs and stuff because
Yeah.
he's on the other side of the world. So I mean, I'm definitely gonna talk to him. I think that he was just thinking like, oh shit, I got to get some Sol so I can ape into the new coin, and it was like, what can I sell?
But he's only in for like 10
Um,
soul, isn't he? On the new one, you said?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I like it's a weird thing with the DAO. Like none of us are hired. We all just came here because we bought bags, and like the people who really showed up and started working are the ones who are running this thing now with me. And some like they are like I will stand by Logan as being like a true believer in the AI vision. Like I don't know if you saw he did like a TED talk where he's like really telling the story of AI. Like he's much more on that side than like some degen trader shit. And none of us are in this. I mean, I don't know. It's a stupid thing to say, but like, there's just a bigger thing here than a fucking bag of money. Like, and especially if it's gonna risk all like I just don't think that we were thinking that anything we were doing would be perceived as like ill-intended. So we made absolutely no effort to like cover tracks or anything. Like obviously there's going to be connections between our dev team and their dev team, the Eliza team that's working on this. And I just don't think we were like thinking on that level. We were just like, okay, let's just like launch this thing. So like, yeah, I really don't think that there was any ill intention, but I also think that we kind of fucked up, like obviously on several levels that look super suspicious, especially for people in crypto Twitter who've like seen fucking everything. And I really can't blame anybody for being skeptical of me or anyone because like the golden children before were horrible people, like fucking SBF ruined it, right? Like, like I don't want to be that guy. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think what we can do now is we can fix it. I can tell you that he smashed the button. Like, there's two problems. One problem that's kind of been solved is that he got a shitload of the new token because he smashed the button. And I know that he's already donated a bunch of that to both the DAO and the dev team and the airdrop fund for the other token. That's like that's already in progress. So I don't think he's got a fat percentage. He basically gave
So
away like $10 million,
I guess my last
which is
question,
cool.
my last question on Logan, and maybe we can move to a couple of the
Yeah.
other things, and I think we've covered a lot, is if it did play out this way, and he had 6 figures of the old Eliza, the non-official Eliza, sold it right before the new one dropped, and he knew the new one was dropping. Like, do you think he's in the wrong?
That's so morally complicated. Like, what would you do if someone's like, "Hey, that token's not our token," and I just like DM that to you, and you're like, "Oh fuck." Would you hold it?
I think I guess I think the one word in it is selling. And that part specifically, not buying it, not making a statement, but just selling before knowing the official one launches. Like, is he in the wrong?
I really don't. I mean, I can see how people could see it both ways. I think a lot. I can't see I had to turn off Twitch so I don't hear like W. But I'm
Yeah,
sure there's a
same.
lot of people saying like he's just being a degen trader in the trenches, and there's a lot of people saying he's insider trading, he's a piece of shit. I'm sure there's a little bit of both, probably more on that side. I think. hmm, I think that like he's somewhat in the wrong and that like we definitely could have handled this better and it would have been like a lot better for everyone. And so he's in the wrong in that like he aped into something, then aped out at a bad timing to ape into something else. And like that's gonna fucking look bad and it hurt a lot of people. And so like in that way I think so. But I also think that he's in the wrong in without like having a bad intention. You know what I mean? I don't think he meant to like fuck anybody over or anything like that. And so it's a really morally complicated thing. Like obviously, um, we are now going to try and make right, which means that something was wrong. Um, but also, I think that it was like a very human condition where I think a lot of people would have done what he did and it wouldn't even think twice about like it being a right or wrong issue. Just like, oh shit, I gotta like dump this bag so I can get this other bag because I don't have a soul or whatever. That's my sense. You know, ultimately like he's just like a dev and a trader who is his own person. Yeah, I really don't think it's cool to like leverage insider information if it's going to hurt other people. I think that's not cool. But I don't think that was his intention. So I would say yes, he's in the wrong, but he's also a good guy who didn't mean to be.
Okay.
That's fair.
And and I know he's not you. You're kind of speaking for him a little bit here. Okay. I guess the last thing, the last like question or topic, and then we can. I think I have a little
I,
bit of
I gave
advice.
you some other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave you some hard ones too.
I think the last one that like I'm curious about is the tweet of I don't know how long I can pull the tweet up. It was like 2 weeks ago where you basically said like we'll never launch the Eliza
So like
official
yeah,
Eliza.
11, 12 days ago.
You can CTO it, but we're never gonna officially launch one, and then we have one now. Like what happened there?
And this is my fuck up. This is where I really fucked up. I think that I fucked up 2 times. I say I fucked up 3 times here. The first time I fucked up is that I delayed the launch of the other token, which put us in the situation first. They were going to launch on Friday, and I told them not to. And my dev team was pressuring me, like, dude, we gotta finish autonomous investor stuff. Like, we gotta finish marketplace of trust. What do you can't do a fucking another launch right now. And I was just kind of like, no, I got this pressure from the dev team that's kind of bummed, you know. So that's definitely the first thing. The second thing is that, well, with that, like, I posted that, and then they came to me, right? Like, I posted, hey, if anybody wants to do Eliza, and then a team came to me and said, we want to do this, and it was like, sick. And if you want to do that, I want to like work with you to make sure it's really beautiful because this really means a lot to me. And I that was like the first thing I said. I was like, you guys have to understand that this means a lot to me. And she has to be free. She has to be her own character. She just can't have the fucking AI16Z mask on her shirt. And we actually tried to work with the other team to be like, can we change the metadata? Can we like change the shirt and like just change the name so it doesn't say AI16Z in the token and we just can't change the ticker. Like it's just fucked. So you know, I did say that somebody came out and reached out and was like, let's do this. They showed me they already had a website and agent ready to go. I prepared this with them. We worked all last week to make sure this went right and like, you know, all that stuff. Um, and then they did the launch and where I really fucked up is that I promoted it from myself, like as though it was our project. Because it's so personal to me, I really wanted to like tell this story of waking up and introduce Eliza and show this cool anime stuff that we'd made and like tell this like what I think is a really beautiful story about Web3 kind of taking narrative control away from the big corpos who kind of make all of our favorite movies into shit now, like all of our favorite series. You know, I love Star Wars. I haven't loved Star Wars movies in a long time because they kind of fucking ruined it. Um, and and I really and I think we should just have our own Star Wars. And like that was the story I really wanted to tell. And the thing that was frustrating about being front run was like we just couldn't take AI16Z off of it. She could never be what we wanted her to be as a separate thing. And so you know I tried to work with that team, but ultimately we like we have to do this. We're getting pressure to launch from this other team that like very invested, and we need to launch this. So I tried to make it as not PvP as possible by like doing the airdrop. I guess I can see how that can be really perceived as a vampire attack. But you know, it's more to be like, look, we're not going to FUD the other coin. They're cool people. They're just doing what degens do. You know, they're not literally my thing is called AI16Z. I cannot fucking criticize them for copying something, right? That would be super hypocritical. But we did also like have to kind of launch this. Like it was our plan. And like imagine that you like had a really big idea And then you're like, I want this to happen. I want this to be free. I want it to happen kind of in a certain way. And you're about to do it, and then somebody else does it with your name, and then everyone thinks it's yours. Um, it made me really sad. It made me really, really fucking sad.
Do you think?
I was like very,
Do you think
you know.
you made a mistake? Because you sort of gave the green light for somebody to make like a CTO Eliza, and then didn't immediately shut it down once you like. And I do believe that when you did do that, you meant it. But then somewhere shortly after that, this team approached you with an Eliza that you wanted to sort of partner on and work on, and you knew in the back of your head you were going to do that. So when the approved Shaw CTO Eliza launched and ripped really hard, do you think you made a mistake not immediately shutting it down?
I didn't know that it was gonna. We were just like, okay, cool. It's like a 2 million market cap token. There's been like 30 Elizas that have hit a couple million market cap, and it was never a big deal. But the new thing here was that BuyFu.fun added Eliza, like the technology to their platform and enabled people to use it. And so then someone took that and launched Eliza on their platform, which is like a pump fund thing. It took them a few minutes. Like they just, and um, yeah, I don't know. Like
What
sometimes it's hard for me to follow the question because I get like
who
overwhelmed by the emotion of this.
who's the
Um,
who what are your thoughts on the team that approached you and launched like the new Eliza? Like do you think that you got played wrong at all in any of this by the CTO
oh,
original
I
team
think
or the team that came to you? Like do you feel like you were done dirty in any of this?
I think everyone had good intentions, but we had terrible coordination
Yeah.
because we're not like together. Um, Literally, like people all over the world trying to make connect, can't get our whole dev team on with their whole dev team at any time. And I think it was, and then like trying to coordinate with like, okay, so right, so that we're just like this token just keeps going up, and I want to support Faifu Fund
Yeah,
because
of
they're like a
course.
cool that they're using our tech, they're a cool platform, they're in our space, like just on a technical level, I think they're doing good for the space. They're making it easier for anyone to launch agents. We obviously like I kind of was like, damn, you guys kind of front ran us, like we're working on our own platform, but you're also helping to get this stuff into the hands of people but faster. I can't control what people do, and I shouldn't even try. That's definitely a lesson. So like, good for them. I appreciate that they like set it up so that they actually send value back to our DAO. If you launch an Eliza, like 1% goes back to us. And I thought that was like really cool that we didn't have to coordinate with them, and they just like did the generous like PVE kind of thing. But it kind of sucks that it launched with right with this
I know.
character that was Eliza that we were right about to launch. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, I'm in touch with the CTO of that project. I sent them some AI16Z before, just like, don't worry, we'll make this work. But then I don't know if we had a communication breakdown. There was just like a lot of coordination problems. I don't think we communicated with them super well to time it. I think they felt a little burned. But they also came back and said like, look, no bad blood. In a weird way, like this kind of Barbara Streisanded their token. So I think they're like, okay, whatever. Like seems to have worked out for them. Um, like we were all trying our best, and I think we just fucked up the coordination pretty bad because we don't have like great coordination mechanism. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I don't want to. I think everyone's gonna hate this, but like if there's two Eliza projects, like that was what I wanted her to be free, and anyone could just do anything with her. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. The other dev team definitely pressured me a lot, but like I pushed their release back, and I kind of fucked their launch. They would have had clear space, and this would have gone so well, and people would have really loved the story. And now it's a story about like grifting and scamming and money, and not a story about like having characters like open source characters that are remixable, that are literally interactive and you can talk to and have personalities. I thought that was the coolest thing, and just unlocking this new narrative arc. Um, and this was my dream project and it got fucked. I don't know what to say, but if there's any consolation to anyone else who got fucked, just know that like this was one of my greatest life disappointments. I really, really wanted this to go well. So yeah.
I guess my
Um,
last question on it is how, all the like bullshit aside, how do you feel about the new Eliza and like your involvement with it?
I think that we are. I think they're going to continue to make a lot of cool video stuff, video art, and also work on adding features that I think are compelling. Eliza has her own wallet, and I think that that's going to be a really interesting mechanic and has some of the token in it. But I think that we're going to really set her free. I think what I got a lot of pushback from our DAO on like, why are we launching another coin? We already have 2 coins, dude. We have a character and we have a DAO. Like, what the fuck? And I think that's very valid. It's not our coin. It's not our project. It's a very personal project to me that I wanted to make sure went well. But it's not an AI16Z project. It's not my job. It's not what I get up and do every day. Um, so I think we're gonna let them cook. We're gonna let both projects cook. We're gonna let the community do what they want to do. What I love about this new one is that she doesn't have AI16Z on her, and people can just like there's 3D assets coming, there's story, and people are making new characters interact, and I hope that like in the long run, people see that the value creation here was bigger than me or us or her or any of this, and that I definitely am not the best person to launch tokens, but I do think I hope that you can like understand that this is very I really want AGI to go well. I really like everything we've talked about. I really want this to go well for everyone. I wanted to move us out of the narrative arc of like copying other people and into like the narrative arc of people being original and creative. I want to see projects like Azuki make a flying comeback in this meta with like full on interactive storytelling. Um, I I see so much opportunity here. I think we just need to make sure that everyone's done right and we fix it. So like that's kind of if there's any other hard questions, I think if there's anything,
I,
yeah, if anybody has any really hard questions, I'm like I think we should just hash that shit out. I'm
I'm gonna be
really like
honest.
you know
I think we answered everything. And I look. First of all, I commend you and appreciate you for coming on here and just hitting everything head on. I asked a lot of questions, not easy questions. I know it's not an easy situation. You're in a tough spot right now. So I respect you. Like as a human, I respect you for coming on and doing this. I think all right. I think it's a recoverable situation. Like I do. I think
how do we fix it?
all things considered, my outside some people are more knowledgeable on what happened than I am. But I think I have a pretty good picture now. All things considered, I think there's the tweet. It wasn't great. There was some weird stuff that happened. You didn't say the token was gonna launch. You launched it. It happens. It happens. I think the biggest problem here that like definitely needs to be addressed, like very head on, and is this Logan thing. Like I honestly I speak for like myself. People might have other thoughts. I think everything else we can like hash out and fix. I think the Logan thing is really really brutal, and it sucks. It sucks that it's not you and it's somebody else's kind of fuck up that has to be dealt with. But I think, and I'd be down if you wanted to come on to just like have the same, just like talk. I'm not a gotcha guy. I have no interest in pinning someone down on something. But I think if what is being said about Logan is true, I think that is the worst thing that happened for sure. It kind of just like pokes a lot of holes. That's sort of the core like hole that makes for a bunch of other holes because it kind of makes everything like not make total sense. So I think
Let's just get him on. Do you want to just? He's like right here. I just made a group chat with us. We could just get him on right now. We
yeah,
could just talk
can we add
about
him to the call?
Yeah, man.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm trying to get this airdrop ready with StreamFlow. So we're going to be doing a vested. Are we live?
Yeah, we are live. We are live.
Yep.
Sorry.
Hey, okay, cool. So we're doing a vested stream flow with the 10% that we have secured for the Eliza tokens that Shaw free Eliza. So we are working with our devs and making sure that that is happening. StreamFlow had some issues with the way that we had our CSV formatted, but it looks like they figured that out. I just got word. So I'm going to be queuing that up. It's going to start with a 20% cliff. So people are going to get a chunk right away, and then it's going to be daily unlocks until the end of the year. You don't have to do anything. It's just going to hit your wallet. We removed, because Shaw just snapshotted, right? I'm not in the snapshot. He did it after I, saw that triple top and was like, look, I mean, when you look at the chart and you see what's going on, like understand what you're going to do. I'm not on that snapshot. We took the LP pool off the snapshot. because we're going to send tokens to a dead address. We want to make sure that the actual holders of the ai16z Eliza token actually benefit from this, and they don't just go to like people who had dust in their wallets, right? So because ai16z had a total supply, or has a total supply of like it's less than a billion, right? It's like just under a billion tokens. It's look on the Solana FM, 961 million. So we proportionated that down to like the 10%. So if you had one token, you'd get 0.1 of these tokens streamed to you, right? So we had to do some sort of minimum just to truncate. But that'll go out, that'll start tonight, and people will start getting those as Shaw promised. So we're fulfilling all of our promises. We're making sure that people are understanding what's going on. And I'm here to answer any questions regarding how the development's going, what the fuck just happened, and how we're trying to, truth and reconciliation.
Okay. Great to meet you, Logan. Thank you for the background. Okay, I don't think we have to keep it super long. I think we addressed, we went over a ton with Shaw.
People got one question, which is like, why and when did you sell?
So this is
like, that's the big question.
Yeah, this is what I want to know, is walk me through, I guess, your like actions on chain of when CTO old Eliza dropped, buying and selling into new Eliza, ai16z Eliza launching, and then buying and sort of selling there.
Yeah, so man, we had our what did we get done on Friday? And the internals were like, look, we can launch this, we can do this. Everything's getting set up with Rise. They're gonna put this out. Like, are we gonna discuss this? And then it was okay. We've got a lot to do with Mark. We're gonna put this out on Monday.
Who?
Right?
Mark, as in AI Mark?
PM Marco, AR Marco.
AI,
sorry.
Cool.
And then Waifu's coming up, right? I sort of hear about it on CT. Kind of in some of these groups, people are asking me, "Hey, is this real? Is this thing real? Like, what's going on? Like, everything coming through." And when you're just sent something and you're like, I don't fucking know. Let me throw some soul into it, right? And if you look on chain, there wasn't a lot. And holding it through the wings, trying to get in touch with these people all weekend, finally get in touch with them, throw Shaw in a group with them, Waifu's in a group with them, communicating. There's screenshots out there. I don't know if they got posted, but of that whole conversation of like just trying to communicate what should happen, what's going on. They were really into the whole idea of CTOing, like they were going to step down, they were going to like do this whole thing. And then like when you're looking at a triple top, I mean, what do
you mean by triple top? Like on the chart?
So if you look at their, if you look at their chart,
like, I was just making sure.
You look at their chart, you're like, okay, it goes up and it comes down and it goes up and it comes down and it goes up and it comes, and it's like, it was a lot of, what am I gonna hold, like a huge bag? Like, I don't know. Like, so these people are just
here's a question for you,
like inconsiderate.
Was there a point in time that you thought CTO'd Eliza was the real Eliza? And like, how did that happen?
Was there a point in time where I thought CTO'd Eliza was the real Eliza? There's so many Elizas. Like there's like hundreds of Elizas, right? And having like the label of the real Eliza, right? There's Eliza Wakes Up by Rise. There's ai16z Eliza. There's Eliza, which, we just talked in the partners group. That guy, I don't know if you chatted with him. There's, it's like there's tens of Elizas being thrown on pump every single minute. So now that Eliza is a CCO project,
I don't think bots.
Okay, well, I did. I was under the impression that, and I did say this, that you bought this token because you thought it was a token that we were preparing to launch, essentially. And I want to know if that's true, so that I don't say that again. I
Yeah,
really
like
don't want to spread
people sent it to me, and I was taken like very like quickly, and like, is this real? And it was on Waifu, and I didn't have information yet. So yeah, I shot first, I bought it, and then I started asking questions, and like because Shaw is so inundated, and he's been our like knowledge base of like what's going on, and it's like he's getting thousands of DMs, he's getting pulled into so many different chats. Me as a dev organizer, I have to, kind of wait in the queue as well as everybody else to get that information. And then after it, like we were trying to figure out who actually deployed this thing, it wasn't until Sunday I could go back, like when I got in touch with the waifu dev on X, and I said, hey, do you know who deployed this? Like, do you have any idea who the dev is on this? And then they put me in a group with or no, they said DM their Twitter, and then I put us all in a group, and then that's when communications opened up on, like, I don't know when it was. Sunday. Yeah, Sunday.
Okay, so
yeah, Sunday.
I guess this then leads to the biggest question is, first of all, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with buying a token at all. But there was a point where CTO, we'll call it the old Eliza, was at 30, 40, 50 mil, whatever. You had a lot of it. You knew it wasn't real, and you knew that the official Eliza was going to be launching in the next 24 hours. And shortly before official Eliza launches, you sold old Eliza.
Yeah, if you look at the chart, there's like a moment where I de-risk from what looks like, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, probably 80% of it.
Okay. I guess the question is why?
Because when you're up and you need to de-risk, and you're like, okay, like if this is triple topping, like look at patterns, right? I have like Fibonacci patterns, I got Tanagram patterns. There's like a snapshot that Shaw did. We actually looked at the snapshot. I'm not even on it, so it's not like I front ran the snapshot, or like I tried to get on it and then I sold it after getting on it. I
took the snapshot like a couple hours before, like 3 hours before the launch. So it would have had to have been like quite a while before the launch.
And if you look at there's like 5 sell bubbles, right? So I was like, okay, let me de-risk some of this, and I took some off the table, and then I kind of like went and just did a bunch of stuff, and then it starts to plummet, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. Like I don't know, like maybe something can go wrong here, and I took the rest off. But again, it's like I'm not even on the snapshot.
Okay, so
because if there was like some fuckery going on, wouldn't I have waited to be on the snapshot?
So I think this is where it leads to then. It's because,
yeah.
I mean, you're a smart guy. I know you're a smart guy. Again, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with buying a coin in general. I buy coins, I sell coins. The problem here, from what chat thinks, and really not fuck chat, what I think is you bought this Eliza coin. Maybe there was one point in time where you thought it was the real one. You go up a lot, you have a large position in it, but at some point before you sold, you are aware that new Eliza is going to drop very soon. And the problem with new Eliza dropping very soon is it means old Eliza that you have a lot of money in is going to get wrecked. Like, of course, right? With a second new one launches, Shaw endorses it, old CTO Eliza is going to get absolutely turbo wrecked. And so I understand, like, in a black hole, the concept of like de-risking, or the chart doesn't look good, Fibonacci, like I'm on all of it. But the reason to sell right there is because, oh shit, in like an hour, the real coin is going to launch and this thing is going to get fucking wrecked. And you still sold.
And what's funny is it reversed, and it actually, if I just held and just walked through the fire and the flame, then it would have been even better, right? Like, unfortunately, I saw, I mean, I could do whatever the line here is. I saw just, static. And if you even look earlier, it's like I de-risked 24 to 36 hours earlier than that, right? Like when you have so much of a percentage, like you can't, it's not good for the rest of the holders for someone to have so
Yeah.
much,
So,
right? And that's why, yeah.
all right, this is the last question on
Okay.
on selling, and then I'll ask.
Well,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah.
You go for it. But I do want to drill into this a little bit. Like, I don't really fully understand the timeline. Like,
Okay.
um,
I think this is the like clarifying question, and then I want to ask a couple on like the new launch. Is when you sold the old, like when you sold the old Eliza, you were aware that a new one was about to drop, right? Like that's correct in timeline.
I had no idea. We had no real communication of when it was going to happen. We were all kind of like, hey, we need your help in dev. This is happening right now. And it was like very impromptu, right? I think Shaw dropped off.
I think he could just join right back.
Yeah. It was a very impromptu thing. It was like we knew that we were going to deploy the Shaw's vision with Rise of Eliza waking up. Hey, I think you're on your phone now.
I switched my phone. Out of my
Yeah,
computer.
no problem. Yeah, no problem. But it was a very impromptu thing, and being a dev, I'm working on dev stuff, and I'm trying to figure out like coordinating people and working on the repos and like because right now we have like a whole like rollout to make this a better organization. And it's a very impromptu thing. Like, hey, we need your help right now. This is happening right now, and it was not like this is happening at X time, blah blah blah. Okay. So I had no coordinated effort like that.
Okay, Shaw, did you still want to jump in there, or should I?
Well, I do want to just get like I want to understand like the kind of timeline. Like I actually didn't even know the Vaifus thing was like until I think like Sunday, right? And I was like really shocked. I was checking my DMs and people asking me like, "Oh, cool! So like I'm hosting as Eliza on Vaifu Fun." I'm like, "What are you talking about? They don't.
Yeah,
not a thing." And I think we were like really fucking blindsided by this. And we don't have a lot of the structure in place for the DAO yet. Like we're still getting that together, and we just didn't have any kind of like, But also like, look, I don't think that if I was in my position, I would have sold because I've had to face the gravity of this for a while. I don't think like I think Logan was thinking like just the dev and a trader and probably not really considering the gravity of this whole thing. And I think I think we got to make this right. Like how do we like let's assume that nobody meant and like was trying to hurt anybody or do anything wrong. They're just like, fuck, I got, I don't know, this is the situation. Like if I think it's reasonable that if I went to Logan and was like, no, that's not our token. And I'm sure we have that screenshot somewhere. We can find it. Or I don't know if we talked about it, but like I would have sold right then, right? I would be like, oh fuck, I bought the wrong token and sold. And but obviously that's like a different story than like, okay, cool, we're about to do this token, like you better dump right now so that we fuck them. Like that's not what I would have rather ran it to zero personally for myself. Like I'd rather just hold it.
If anything, I would have waited until I knew a snapshot was done. I had no idea, and we were discussing like making sure.
Were you involved in building the snapshot or no?
No, I just took a snapshot myself. I actually didn't even tell. I just like snapshotted it.
Okay. He didn't tell anybody. He just like he just Shaw works very quickly and like very siloed, and it's something that we're working through as like a growing organization. But I mean, like he also is like a genius dev who I've attributed like building with, right? So yeah, I don't know, like I get sent this thing, I shoot first, ask questions later, I buy the thing, and people are like really engaged with this waifu thing. I bought every single token on the waifu platform pretty much, right? Okay. Like you're like, okay, this is new technology, this is really exciting, it's using our technology, it works pretty well, like let me try it out, I'm experimenting. I've been a developer and builder in the space, experimenting with our colleagues and builders projects for over 10 years, right? And it's like, it's kind of that you try our friends' stuff and you spend a lot of your own money trying to do that. And I thought that's what I was doing here. I thought I was just trying out tech.
Okay. Well, look, I got like one more question for you, and I appreciate you in the middle of it coming on here, showing your face, talking, answering questions. I know it's a tough spot.
I'm
I
a
know it's
very
not easy.
toxic person.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I guess my last question is sort of like the launch of the new one. So I'm not in the Discord, so I don't know how that was like publicized or like given out to holders, but I do know it hit Twitter and that shit was at 20, 30 mil, whatever it is. You weren't in the snapshot, but you did. Like, I don't know how did it work. How did you get in? How much did you buy? Like, I'm just like curious your involvement as like a holder and participant in like the new token.
I'm sorry, is that for me?
Yeah, for you. Sorry.
So it was like this very impromptu thing. We all get thrown onto a call, and I was just had sent a link. I think there was like an address dropped in discussion. Like we have a group called Discussions or something, and it's like when you're fighting against all these bots that are on that platform, and the fact that we needed to secure this percentage for ai16z Eliza holders. We're just trying to like get something because we wanted it to be a fair launch. We wanted to not like deploy Solana contract and not have it be like this meta. So the fact that like my ultra priority transactions were the ones to go through is just the luck of the blockchain, I guess. I mean, it's the thing where it's like, people in our Discord who were on at that time, who went there. I mean, I have people that were like, "Oh, I tried and it didn't go through," and blah blah. I mean, I have people that are like, "Yeah, even Shaw didn't get some." Right? It's like people hit the button, and like as a dev, like someone who like uses the stuff, I always have it set to ultra priority with like a gas height of 0.1 or something. So it went through, and now we're able to actually do the vested stream flow, so we can get those people there. We can attribute some to the DAO. We can attribute some to team members for a dev fund, right? It's the same way with that was super bullish before with Elijah. It was like super bearish that he got 16% of AI16Z on the DAOs.fund because he just fat fingered the fund, and then he gave 11% to the DAO creator fund or whatever it was. So we're like no tokens have been moved. They're about to go into the Streamflow vesting contract. I just got told they figured that out, and people will start receiving those, and then you'll start to see tokens go into the DAO fund. And tokens go into probably like a squad's multi-sig.
Okay. Thank you for that.
And so we were trying to buy entry, right? Like we were like, okay, what we want is to be able to have enough to give to the DAO, to give to the Eliza team, and then to give to Eliza herself as a wallet for like the agent. And so, yeah, I mean, it was literally like I was smashing it. My shit was not going through. Everybody in Discord was smashing it. And, I think Logan had that thing ready. What we did was I launched it. I dropped it into the Discord discussion, but kind of like left some vague stuff while I think was setting up. And they sent me the link. I posted it into the discussion. I'm like, I don't want to buy this first because if I buy this, it copy wallets, right? Everybody just is going to jump on whatever. So I'm like, guys, everybody in our Discord, just go. This is the thing. We're doing it. It's actually happening. And a few problems there. One, it should not have been from fucking me. It really should have been from the dev team. That would have, I think, been a lot more like reasonable optics. And just like they sent it to me, I posted it. I thought it would be cool to like introduce the story. Then we went on a Discord space, and I sort of introduced the story of waking up, why this all meant a lot to me, like what we were doing with it. And then I like while we were on the Discord space, I finished kind of a Twitter post and posted it with all the information. So that's kind of how it went down. We wanted to give some alpha to like our we have 9,000 people in our Discord, so it's like a pretty popping community, and it's like all holders. We want to just kind of like give some reason for that, and then I was like writing up the thing, you know. Yeah. So like, look, we're here now. It did not go great. This was like kind of a heartbreaking launch for me for something I really care about. I really want to
People
make
were
everything
really
right.
mean to you, man. Like people were really super mean to you when we like.
It's fine. It's fine. Like
Unfortunately, got like front run, like with like your vision and like Waifu is a great team. They deployed using an Eliza tech. They put a sick front end on a a pump wrapper and a Eliza wrapper, and their team is building and heads down as fast as possible. The admins at the ai16z Eliza, they're communicative. They're there for it. I think that they're well aligned as well. Like they knew about the project or they did the project because they knew about the project because they're aligned devs and they're based. And the vision of like creating a world that is entwined with like humans and AI agents living in tandem, being able to converse, being able to comply, being able to like build and grow together is why I'm here. And that's all I want to see. So I'm like I was like working on something for myself, for my family, basically retired. I find this repo and I've attributed like 18 to 20 hours a day for the last 3-4 weeks that I've known about this, just because I see the like how like grand the vision is here. And I'm not going to stop because like this is so important that we make sure this technology gets out in the world, that everything starts to build in tandem, and that the community sees that there's good. And like when I talk to Shaw, when I hear Shaw talk, there's good, right? Like there's really yeah, there's a huge opportunity just to do right, and that's all I want to do.
Okay.
all right. So how do we fix this? How do we solve this?
I don't
I think we
entirely
get the stream out.
Yeah, so here's what
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
do. Here's what we'll do.
Yeah.
We can basically rug it here. First of all, I appreciate you guys for coming on, answering everything in the heat
Mm-hmm.
of it. I know you're busy. I know there's a million things going on, a million people trying to contact you. I'll definitely put this stream out. I'll have it out in like, I'll probably rug it right after this. I'll have it out in like 30 minutes, max. So people can watch it. I'll have the segment clipped. I'll post it. People can watch it. People can comment it. And I think I'm happy to message you on the side and maybe try to lend a hand here. I kind of think you got to make a public statement about the selling. Like I think that kind of has to happen. At least it's what I would want to see if I was a holder, on sort of like a full picture. What happened? How did we get here? And then people seem to, just like reading chat, people seem to be really, really, really fired up about this selling, how that went down, why it went down. And I think you addressed it on here, so I'll post it. We'll have the clips. People will be able to see it here. And I think I don't know, that's what I think. Look, I'm just a fucking streamer guy. I'm not building really important tech here. But I think that's what I would do, is put a statement out about what happened, why it happened, how it happened, and sort of go back and forth. I mean, look, what you're doing, coming on the stage, talking, showing your face, addressing it, like I think that is sort of all you can do, telling your story. So I'm grateful that you guys came on and talked about it. I'm happy.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, Shaw has been doxxed this whole time. I'm not a non-public figure, right? Like I've been in this space for a very long time as either a dev or an executive or etc. And it's really like we're not anons, like if we were, it'd be a totally different story. And like we're here to change the world and what it means for AIs and humans to live together in peace.
Honestly, I
And
think the most Chad shit is if you pull a Frank D gods and just posted the wallets too, because everyone's speculating: is this his? Is it's not? Like, you might have to just tweet the wallet. Like, I don't know. I don't want to give you bad advice on stream, but
yeah.
I think figuring out the best way to just because look, you guys are building sick tech.
And that's the thing too is like, and that's the thing too is
Hold
like,
up.
I'm not like, go ahead.
Well, I do want to point out, like, SPF wasn't doxed either. This is a great point that Ogle sent me in the background. Shit, I'm getting a call. Come on, in the stream. You know, like, I think that I think wallets be okay. I think like there's a few things that we should do. One, like, we got to go get that stream going right away. Just make sure that everybody's getting airdrop tokens.
Yeah.
Cool. That's gonna happen right now. We've got Jin's working on it in the background. Make sure that happens. We've got to do something with the tokens that are in our treasury. I'm down to do whatever the AI16z community wants for that. I like whatever's fair. Like, do we burn them? We're not going to sell them. That's for sure. Right. Like, just, we will not sell those. We can hold them. The AI16z Eliza. We're not going to sell
the
it.
ones in the DAO. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to fuck with it. We're not going to FUD them. If, you know, if they want to do something like we allocate that, you know, I'll have to talk to, you know, some sort of debt fund or something. I'm really open to that. I think we should really try to work to make right with all the communities and all the holders on this stuff. I donated all of my Eliza tokens to the DAO. I just don't have any from the new one or the old one. I didn't, you know, whatever. I don't want to. I'm not going to endorse either of these projects. I think they're both community projects with very different visions, and hopefully have the resources to succeed. So, you know, I don't think that anybody here had any ill intent or bad will. That's my sense. I think everyone was just like thinking and being a human and trying to react to the moment and not thinking the bigger picture. I think if there's anything else we can do to like solve this, you know, super down. I think we gotta, you know.
Let me get you this VOD ASAP. I'll post it on Twitter. I'll get it to you so you can show it to the Discord and whatever information you said here or have. Like, let me get it to you guys ASAP so you can do the best thing you think. But I appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you for showing face. Thank you for answering questions. I know it's in the middle of the fire right now. So I'm grateful that, I mean, it takes some balls to step up and do it. So I'm really grateful for both of you all. Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.